Of the more than 60,000 convicts sentenced to man the oars of galley ships in 17th and 18th century France, only one, the Huguenot Jean Marteilhe, wrote his memoirs detailing his ordeal. He would spend more than 12 years on these ships in chains beside thieves, assassins, deserters, and a few others who had been sentenced for religious reasons. Marteilhe was arrested at the Dutch border as he attempted to flee his native France in order to freely practice his faith at a time when dissidence with the Roman Catholic Church was a punishable offense in France. And on this day, November the 2nd, 1701, he was sentenced to the galleys for crimes of religion. The life of a galley slave is recounted in his book, Mémoires d'un galérien, or Memoirs of a Galley Slave. Marteilhe was from the small town of Bergerac, some 100 kilometers east of Bordeaux. We were able to visit Bergerac earlier this year, and in that town, in Bergerac, Marteille's family had suffered persecution at the hands of the Royal Dragoons. His father had been imprisoned, and Marteilhe decided to flee to escape what seemed inevitable. A short excerpt from his book paints a somber and shocking picture. He writes, "At one time we were forced to row as fast as possible for 24 straight hours without a break, the only sound being the screams of those poor bloodied ones on the receiving end of incessant whipping. And when one of these unfortunates passed from exhaustion, he was simply thrown overboard like a piece of dead meat." To be condemned to the galleys was considered the next most severe punishment after execution. Torment and affliction are the words that are used to describe the experience. And a wood carving hangs in a museum in the south of France called the Museum of the Wilderness, the Musée du Désert, in the Cévennes Mountains. On this wood carving, we read an engraving that was left by an unknown comrade of Marteilhe, and we read this: "Lord, may this metal ring that I wear be as a wedding ring, and may these chains that I have on my feet be as the chains of your love." What a poignant example, illustrating the enormous sacrifice of thousands of Christians like Jean Marteilhe, whose only crime was the determination to live for Christ in good conscience.